Well, good morning, everybody. You will notice it's a little bit late for me. You guys normally see me very early in the morning. Well, this is a really bad day for me, guys. I just was writing my article talking about the closing of my eBay, which really breaks my heart. So it took me a very long time to write this article because I didn't want to write it. But I had to be honest. I had to put the reasons in there. It's not anything that dramatic, but my business model will not work on eBay. So I'm closing 10 years of my life and hundreds of thousands of hours of work that are going to end up losing me $1 million in the end because at the end of the business, I did really well. Actually, I won't lose $1 million in the end. I still have the inventory. I just have to move it elsewhere. And I did make all my inventory is paid for, so I do own everything. And I did make my living for 10 years on eBay, paying enormous medical expenses. Guys, you have to understand, this is so dangerous for me. It costs me, we have a low tire and we're out of gas. It costs me an astronomical amount of money to stay alive. I mean, I don't think you really understand how much money I spend just to keep my health alive, because there's nothing that is covered by insurance that will actually do it. By the way, in case you're wondering what that little thing you might see, hey, with that little thing, shut up or I'm gonna beat you. I'm tired of this barking in the car. You want a shock collar? You got fleas? Where's the flea spray? You got fleas? My employee's teasing with dog food to make it bark. All right, so that thing flopping around above the screen there is an envelope. I had to put it above my phone because if I don't, all you see is glare when I put my phone up in the window in the morning. Oh man, this is not gonna work. It may fall down and cover the camera, so I have to pay attention. All right, so let me get back to what's going on the eBay thing. It broke my heart with the eBay thing to write this article. I wrote it. It's tastefully done. The first rendition would have made everyone quit eBay the second they read it. So I toned it down. A lot. So I read, hey, Ed's sick too, by the way. He's in the Philippines. He has throat infection. I am actually, I'm trying to get to it, but it's really going to make me upset. So I've made all my money on eBay to keep me alive. It's very expensive. A lot of my things aren't covered. Well, I've been going twice a day to the hospital, as you guys know, because I've been having fluid every day. You even saw me in my show. I almost couldn't breathe in my show because I had so much fluid build up, and I had just done a treatment an hour before the show. Well, it wasn't making sense. They were having me come twice a day, and they said, your dehydrant is doing nothing. They couldn't figure it out. Well, I go in last night, and did a doctor figure it out? It was a nurse that figured it out. The nurse said, you know what, I'm not going to go into details, but she named the area of the lungs. She goes, we never check that area too heavily because there's a lot of scar tissue. I bet you in that scar tissue, he's got some sort of abnormal growth that is infected with bacteria that we can't detect. Nurse suggested that to the doctor. The doctor is there, looked at her and said, that's actually a pretty good idea. We haven't really checked that area. It's a different kind of scanner they use the visual. They go in, they probe around, they look around. They use density scanners. Density scanners don't work very well on me because my lungs are full of scar tissue and artificial tubes and bots and everything else inside of there. So the tissue density scanner really only works to see how much fluid I have in my lungs. So it cost me a bunch of money. I paid it. They put me in the digital imaging scanner. Now that is the best piece of equipment on the planet, guys. You go into this machine and basically you are on the computer. They can zoom in, look at you, and it's all real time. You see your heart beating, see everything, blood going through the capillaries. They can zoom in that much. Fantastic equipment. Very Star Trek. I even said, I feel like I'm in that little medical scanner. And it looks like it. You're on this little bed, this little thing goes over you, digitally scans you over and over and over. Ultrasound is used in it too, and some sort of, what was the other thing they said they used? That there's some x-rays used, but that's a very small part of it. Well, that's neither here nor there. So I get in there, and sure enough, within 15 minutes of looking around in the air, within 15 minutes of looking around in the area that the nurse suggested they look at, because it's an area that they don't really have anything but scar tissue damage. Nothing else is in that area, not even artificial tooth or anything. It's pretty much what they consider what's left of my healthy lungs. Well, sure enough, there's some indeterminate cells, great big thing. It's little in comparison to size relation, but to me it's a great big thing. It's about the size of a pea. That entire thing is just constantly full of bacteria. And my treatments don't penetrate the cell membranes of indeterminate cells. I have really advanced treatments that I get to keep me from filling with fluid and stuff. So there's a lot of criteria for them to work. One of the things is the cell membrane needs to be on a normal tissue. It's not designed for high density tissues. It's not designed to go through high scar tissue areas either, because it'll build up in there and I'll get toxicity. It's a lot of details that aren't necessary to know. But basically it boils down to, I just have to get this little tiny thing removed. Because while it's there, inside that little pea-sized thing is almost like a seed. I can do my dehydrant, I can do my antibiotic kind of treatment. It's not really antibiotics, but sort of. I can do all those treatments and it works everywhere perfectly, except inside that little tiny pea-sized tumor, which is full of bacteria. It's not the tumor they're freaking out on. It's indeterminate cells. It's not even cancer. I got things all over me like that inside my lungs. It's nothing. But because it cannot be treated, and the cell walls are resistant to the UV treatment, which really freaked me out. They tried to UV blast it, because if they could just ultraviolet blast and kill bacteria 100%, then it wouldn't come back. It would take a while. Well, guess what? Those cell walls that can't be permeated by the medicine are thick enough that it only kills about 20% of the bacteria inside, putting it on there for the maximum time. So I can get a sunburn from that inside the lungs, very easy. And I've been having treatments for years, so I have a lot of resistance. They say, you know, the only way we're going to be able to do this is to take it out, and we're going to have to, shh. We're going to have to, hey, enough. Sorry. We're going to have to take it out very special, because we can't rupture it. We've got to keep all that bacteria inside, because if it ruptures and we suck it out and it gets spread throughout the lungs, you're going to have a nightmare. So I'm going to have that done this morning. They were going to try to do it last night, and they said, no, we better call your doctor. So they called him in the middle of the night. He jumped on a plane, and he lands, I think, in 15 minutes. Flew in from Vegas. He's staying for the weekend. Very concerned, because its removal is nothing. It's not hard. They zap things out of my lungs like that on a daily basis all the time. But they can't just zap it and then suck it up and pull it out. Because if they do that, I'll be inundated with this really bad bacteria for me, one I have no immunity to. And then I'll be screwed. It would just, I would be better to leave it in there and go to the hospital all the time, but I can't afford to do that. Or I can do the surgery now. I've already paid to go twice a day because I was having trouble. They scheduled me in and say, well, the once a day isn't going to work for you. You're going to have to go twice a day so we can just dehydrate your lungs. So I was already scheduled for the extra trips. That actually helped me, because they're going to, one of my trips on Sunday, they're actually going to take off and credit to what I have to pay today. So I only have to come up with 110 today. Otherwise, I'd have to come up with 210 today. But considering what I'm having done, I'm doing pretty good. I'm just really upset because it's all rolling out at the same time. I'm already upset because I was writing this article about closing my eBay store, which has been my life for 10 years. One of my favorite things to do was go clearance sale, find a new product that they're selling in China, which is what everyone else would have avoided. Finding a new product that they're selling in China, grabbing that product for pennies on the dollar, slapping it into my store, charging the same amount that the China sellers were charging for it, providing free shipping and getting it to them within a week, 5 days, 3 days, whatever. Depends if it was first class or priority. I love doing that. I made a fortune doing that. But with the new eBay search engine, that won't work. You have to have your item seen for them to select it. So that search engine ruined my business, and then theft on top of it pushed it over the top. Reduced sales, high thefts. Thefts are at the same level as they've always been, sometimes a little higher. But if I'm having 5 thefts a day and I'm selling 150 things, big deal. If I'm having 5 thefts a day and I'm selling 25, that is a big deal. Mom's not even here. Shit. She might not even know I'm coming. All right, guys. Well, I'll be right back. I'm going to run in. I'll have to talk to my dad, I guess. Our mom might have just got the message. She went ahead and do something. Yeah, nobody really knew I was going to be here today. All right, guys. I will be right back. I'm not going to put the on hold thing because I'm just going to run in there and tell my dad what's up real quick. I'll be back in a second.
You back?
It doesn't help. Okay. All right, get in the back, guys. I'm gonna go. All right. Yeah, Mom wasn't there, and Dad's not too happy. All right, so I don't have the $110 I need today, so I had to come to my folks to get it.
Ooh, wow.
Betty Boop's up there being Jungle Jim over there. Crap, we have to get gas. What is the stuff you sold?
No,
Right. eBay should be closed, is it?
No.
Damn. They were supposed to close it. I don't want anyone buying anything from me on eBay because every single sale I've had since I announced it closed has been a theft. Every single one. If I had known that, I wouldn't have announced early that I was closing. I would just close the doors. I thought, oh, we had a little surge in sales. Wonderful. People know I'm closing. They want to buy the stuff. No. Every thief in the country has decided to buy from me in the last week. Every single thing. Look, there's not one item you've sent out. Every single one of those cheap items, there's something wrong with. Even though I have court-backed surveillance and I inspect everything before it goes in. Everybody, and look at that, every single one of them. Another one, another one, another one. In other words, I'm targeted by the thieves on eBay, guys. I have been for a year. 320 of them have been arrested. You are hearing me correctly. 320 people that stole from me on eBay. And another case for that. Look at that, a $5 item. Another $5 item. Everything that I have that's inexpensive, everyone's. Yeah, look at this. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. I should have just shut the door instead of tell everyone that I was closing the door. Crap, how are we going to do this? We have to get gas, and one or two of those, I guess. One, I hope. Okay. Dad actually gave me an extra $10. He didn't want to, but he did. I guess we'll have to use that for the gas because there's nothing in the bank. I have that PayPal transfer, or the Anchor transfer is not there for my personal account yet. And I just paid the medical bill yesterday, so that's like $1,800 gone. So there's nothing in there.
Can you open toy stores?
I can open lots of stores. I have $1 million worth of inventory sitting in my warehouse. You know what I'm going to do? You're interrupting me. But you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to end up putting a whole bunch of stuff. We're doing the yard sale thing. We're going to liquidate as much as we can there. But I'm going to end up putting a whole bunch of stuff on my private website and selling it to other sellers. Like, we have like the radio control cars. We have hundreds of those, right? Hundreds of those. And we have hundreds of different types.
Yeah.
So probably what I'm going to do, this is for you guys and my employee. I have a store envy store that we forgot about. We had 7 sales in there I didn't even know about. We've got that taken care of. We're getting that taken care of.
At it yesterday.
Yeah, we just saw it yesterday. Some of them for a couple of days ago. It's a store that I've had for 2.5 years and never made a sale. As soon as I started ending eBay items, my keywords are fantastic, guys. I did good work on eBay. As soon as I started ending eBay items, this other store's items are coming up in the top of search. So I'm selling them. Well, I've got 450 listings, old ones, in this other store, Store Envy. I haven't looked at it in 2 years. I didn't even know I had it. It was one of those nimble things that I had that you just get a store, you push a button, and if you get a sale, you get a notification. Well, I didn't get any for 2 years. Then all of a sudden, ka-ching, 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 and I looked, and every single one of those things selling was something I had on eBay that I had ended. So we've got 450 listings there. Now, a lot of them, the inventory numbers are probably wrong, and some of them we don't even have, I don't think. So today we are going through Store Envy, and we're going to clean that up. And my employee is actually going to go and pull there's 450 listings on there now. We'll probably cut that down to about 200 listings. It'll probably be about half the stuff on there we will end. We're going to get rid of like any cheap stuff. Just put the good stuff on there that's already listed. The listing's already live, and I'm getting sales in that store. So basically, eBay, what's left over from eBay that's already in Store Envy, we're going to clean Store Envy up, and I'm going to put a page on Facebook, add it to all my websites and everything else, and just use it like I did eBay. Because it's already done. All he has to do is some edits. Look at Store Envy. It's only $5 a month for 500 listings.
You can start on it.
You want this, don't you? You want this. This is why the dog barks. You want this, huh? Uh-oh, where did it go? Where did it go? Did you lose it? I threw it up there. Where'd it go? Where'd it go? I still got it. Where'd it go? What happened? Here, Betty Boop. Here. He was like all concerned. I threw it straight up in the air and it lands on the seat, and I grab it real quick. He can't see that. And he's like, oh no, I lost it. I can't find it. That's it. Get in the back. That's it. No more. Quit begging. You guys are spoiled. Your ears been stuffed in. You guys are so spoiled. My dogs are very spoiled. Flop your head. Flop your head. You got gook in your eyes. You got sleep in your eyes. That doesn't look good. Flop your head. I'm going to see if I can get her to flop her head. Flop your head. Flop your head. Nah, she can't be bothered. Sometimes I can get her to flop her head. It's real cute. Her ears go flopping. My hair is a mess, guys. I got home from the hospital. I passed out in the bed. I got up this morning. I started writing my article, and then the hospital calls with all the data. You can tell this is a very bad day for me. The hardest thing, I thought the only trauma I was going to have today, I knew I was going to go to the hospital twice. I didn't know I was going to have some of my lung removed today. Very tiny, guys. I mean, normally when someone says they're having some of their lung removed, they're getting sliced up the middle and they're taking out a big section of the lung. That's not happening. They're going to go through my nose and my mouth. They may make an incision. They're probably going to have to make not even have an incision that can go in. My other incision's not even fully closed. They'll probably go back through that incision. Because remember I said, they can't just zap it. They can't just cut it off and then suck it up. Because any of the bacteria that gets out of there is going to be an issue for me. Any. So probably, this is what they did last time I had one of these. The surgical tools all go through the mouth and nose. Then they make a small incision. They insert this little thing that expands around it. And basically, it's like a little muncher. It basically encapsulates where the growth is, as well as healthy tissue around it. And basically, it crunches it all into a little ball. And then it screws together. And then, does it take it out of my body? No. They're not going to be actually pulling anything out. It incinerates it right inside my lung. That's what all the money costs. Why? Because if they do any other removal method, if they just go in there with a scalpel and slice it, or if they even go in there with a laser and zap it, before it gets destroyed, enough bacteria will get out. And this is when I have no immunity to. Enough bacteria will get out that I will just get it somewhere else. So I'm getting the right thing done. I'm going to be fine. It's not even that big of a deal. The big deal is the removal of it. So I just wanted you guys to be clear. This is nothing. I actually have bigger surgeries on a regular basis that I don't even mention. Did you do everything?
No.
And you have $10 left?
No.
What do you have left?
7, 8.
I told you we needed $10. Yes, I did. 15 times.
Carry. Carry.
Well, I screwed that.
Carry.
I'll go over to my friend's house and borrow $2. Block from the hospital. I'll just go over and borrow $2 from her. I have to pay the full amount or they bill me. Why is it so important I pay the full amount? You heard me. I say they bill me. There's a huge difference when I pay a time of service and then when I get billed. When I pay a time of service, it's paid. Books closed. We're not writing down every tongue depressor and cotton swab and everything they use. It saves me normally between $50 and $100 by paying in advance. So that's why $2 makes a difference. You know what? That little piece of paper looks terrible floating down on my thing, but it does keep it so you guys can actually see me without glare.
The general.
It does see it so you can see me without glare. So that's enough of my medical stuff. There's going to be a lot of people sending me message about that today. I have a lot of doctors and nurses that watch me all over the country because I have had some very unique experiences with some experimental procedures. As a matter of fact, 5 things, a total of 5 things. Only 2 are really big, but 5 things that they have done to me as in my research, in the research program that I'm in, that have kept me alive. 5 of those things are now available to the general public. One of them being the little box sensors that I have inside my body. Another one that you probably heard of. Now, my particular one is not. I didn't check my speed. I did not want to get pulled over today. All I need is a ticket or some crap. I'm not in the mood. Can you tell?
Yeah, somebody else.
Oh yeah, someone got a ticket. Oh no, their car's messed up. Well, I lost my train of thought.
The nurses and
yeah, I already
watching the
finished
video.
that. Oh well, not
Why?
Let's get back onto something that everyone cares about. All right, so let's talk about this article I wrote. You can see that on my pages. I made a little Ripple video that's going out. Let's talk about it. A lot of people, when they are complaining about eBay, that's what they're doing. They're complaining. I'm not complaining. I'm unhappy. But I'm not complaining because I am a realistic person and I am not stupid. If you start a business, Your business is not going to be the same within 5 years at all. You might not even be selling the same friggin' products on the same platform. You might not even be on e-commerce. You might switch between retail and then have a bunch of stuff left over in retail. You'll move it on e-commerce. It stops moving. You put it back on retail. Businesses have to change. eBay is a platform, guys. I know all about eBay. Okay? I've got to be careful. I have confidentiality agreements with almost every company in the world, so I have to be really careful what I say. But I can tell you this. I have been flown to eBay to consult. I did advise that PayPal be split off, and it was done. I can say that much. I also advised other things that they have done, some of which sellers like. Even though product-to-consumer platforms make the platform much more money because they don't have the overhead of all these extra sellers and all this bull to deal with, eBay was founded to be a fair marketplace for a community. Buyer and seller are the same thing on both sides of the equation. The founder of eBay could have gotten mega money and been Amazon before Amazon was even thought of, but he wanted it to be a fair marketplace. So someone like me that doesn't have millions of dollars can buy a product that China has millions of and still be shown to the consumer for them to be able to choose whether to buy from me or from China. That's why I loved eBay. That's why I devoted 10 years of my life to eBay, 9 of which were worth spending, 8 of which were honest. The last 2 years, they made me jump through all these hoops, took down 7,000 listings, had me remake them into multivariates, had me add UPCs, tried different types of micromanagement procedures on me like they do everybody else. Why? Not because they told us in advance, we're going to change from a consumer-based platform to a product-based platform, so you guys are going to have to step up your game. We're going to do it in 1 year. These are all the things that you need to do to your store. In 1 year, we're going to flip the switch for the product catalog. After that year, none of your items are going to show to the buyers. If they had told me that 2 years ago when it was planned, instead of just last year after a day before they flipped the switch, I am a smart businessman. I would have looked in there and said, oh, I see what they're going to do. Everything's just going to be coming from the companies they invested in China. They don't need anybody else. And guys, that's it. No matter what you think, that's the truth. But I could have played with that. I could have, if I didn't waste a year of my life redoing 7,000 listings into multivariates so they can not show after they flip the switch. I wouldn't have wasted my year of my life doing that. I would have removed all of those products with a push of a button to my other platform, maybe Store Me, maybe just my Shopify. And I would have replaced the items on eBay while the money was still coming in with items that were designed for eBay search engine. I would be not an anchor store. I would have still very few listings, but I would have not had hundreds of thousands of dollars in loss, tens of thousands of hours of wasted time, so I could rebuild the store so as soon as they flip the switch, nobody sees anything. In other words, they were afraid of the backlash once they told everybody they were doing something completely against the company's founding principles. So instead of doing that, oh, well, if you want your stuff to come up better in search, you're going to have to change the UPC. Well, when it was a community-based platform, that was true. But all along, they knew that as soon as they flipped the switch and it became a product catalog, none of that work you did is going to make any difference because they're only going to show the top metrics anyway. So I would have saved, $100,000 in salary probably for you and the VA. At least 10 times that value of my time. And I would have had a working eBay today that would be booming. I would have spent the money because I would have had it to spend. See, because they dropped things down slowly and started micromanagement, your sales have just been gradually slowing down. They figured you wouldn't notice. Well, that's pretty freaking stupid. I noticed when I went from one day taking 150 items into the post office, which was a slow day for me, to the next day being freaked out going, I only got 65 sales. What's wrong with my store? To the next day, white as a ghost, I figured out what's wrong with my store. Nothing. eBay changed the search engine. overnight. But if I had known that that overnight was coming when they planned on doing it instead of snuck in last minute because it got leaked, because that's exactly what happened, I could have actually been successful in the new eBay. I would not have $1 million in inventory that I had just purchased sitting in my warehouse that's never going to be seen. So the lack of their honesty and disclosure ruined my business. That's what ruined my business. Not that they changed it. Businesses change all the time. You better be adaptable or you have no business being in business. I could have dealt with everything that they've done, and I did deal with it even with all the hindrances. I still make money on eBay, but I've been targeted by theft. With the combination of the two issues, it's not worth me having. I'm closing my store because I don't want them buying from Keywebco on eBay, because the only people targeting that are thieves, and the only people that have been targeting my store for almost 6 months now have been thieves. I've had a 700% increase. Why? Because I'm not coming up on their search engine. That's what thieves look for. It's a combination of things that ruined eBay, and I don't see any potential for it. Now, if I had not had reduced sales, in other words, if I had a year and then all of a sudden it changed, but knowing about all the real changes, not the bullshit they told us from the beginning, I wouldn't have even noticed. I would have taken the sale from 1 month and bought $10,000 worth of products, branded it, and spent a year worth of time advertising, $5, $10 a day on Facebook or whatever, my brand, so people would search for all my products using my brand name. I could have done that. But you can't do that in dropship. I don't dropship on eBay. I never would. It's against their policies anyway. But why can't you dropship on eBay? Do you think they really care that you're a drop shipper and it's better for the customer? They don't give a rat's ass about that. They say that, but they don't care. What they care about is they've invested in all the companies that you're drop shipping from. Why would they want you to make a little money on the slide when they can get all the money directly from the drop shipping company that you're using, that they use? Those sellers don't pay in China. They don't pay seller fees. Why? Because they don't need to. They're part of eBay. eBay is invested in the manufacturer. The manufacturer makes the listing and sells it on eBay's platform. Do you think you're going to beat them in search? In the old eBay, I beat them 150 times a day. That's why it's not available for me anymore. They know me. They saw how much money I was raking in, not drop shipping eBay products, reselling them with the faster speed. They knew the reason I was getting 150 hits a day isn't any metrics or anything that they can manipulate. It's because people knew that if they saw the little green dragon, oh, that's the same stuff from China, I get it in 5 days. Boom, click, purchased. They took that away because they want that money on both sides. That's what's going on. You can make up whatever fantasies are listed at eBay Open. Oh, we're going to do all this extra seller protection. They've upgraded their seller protection every 2 years since I can remember. Has it made any difference ever? So that's the problem with eBay. So I'm writing this article, crying, all upset. Oh man, it's such a mess. I miss eBay. Because I like eBay. I do. I like the people there, the older people there. So I'm writing this article. I did my little podcast, where I make the podcast where I copy the text of the article. My show Thursday was about eBay. I talk about this in my show on Thursday. You should watch it. Most people, when they get in and they're closing eBay and they lose $1 million because they were lied to or just serendipitously changed instead of being honest, most people get really hostile and ugly. What good does that do? It's not going to change anything. The only thing that I can do is advise people that are on eBay what to do so you don't lose your shirt. Okay? And most people aren't carrying, massive volume products like I do. Most people aren't playing the game I am. They're selling vintage stuff and all that. Now, once they flip the switch on your vintage stuff, and guys, they could have done that a long time ago. I've heard this delusion in Facebook groups. Oh, they're never going to put vintage stuff in the eBay product catalog because it's just too many variations. There's so many different conditions. That doesn't mean crap. It's already indexed. Look at WorkPoint and everything else then. you're deluding yourself. They haven't flipped the switch on vintage because the money that they bring in from it is so infinitesimally small, it's not even worth them getting the backlash from the customer, from the sellers. That's what I'm telling you. They haven't flipped the switch because they can't be bothered. They don't want to have the headache. They could have flipped that product catalog switch on those vintage items from day one. Okay? So I'm telling you, what's happened to me, you need to look at your vintage items. Is your vintage item a unique vintage item or just something that everybody has vintage and selling? I would highly recommend that you look for unique ones with keywords that will cut out your competition. If I am selling a Tiffany glass vase and I go to eBay and I type in Tiffany glass vase, the only things I'm going to see is what the computer determines I'll buy. That's important to know. What the computer determines I'll buy and what eBay wants to show me, which is their promoted listing or top metrics, which means something they've invested in, or a box store, big seller. Something that they have experience with. Anyone else selling Tiffany glass vases, new, used, or whatever, you're not going to even see them. So the buyer goes, I don't want to buy a $50,000 new vase. I'm looking for a vintage vase. I want from 1932. They're going to type in 1932 vintage Tiffany glass vase. Well, guess what? They're not going to see those brand new ones. They're going to only see the ones from 1932. So guess what? If there's only 5 or 6 online from 1932, very slim chance that it's going to be a box store unless they just put every year in their title. You'll actually have a chance to come up and search and sell that Tiffany glass vase. But if you don't put 1932 in the title, it may find it in your description if your metrics is high enough that they even bother to look. Do you understand the difference? The old platform, every Tiffany glass vase makes a list. eBay would sort it by who they wanted first. Metrics, who they wanted first. But everyone would show. Nobody bought the top search results. They would always scroll down and find a better deal from an individual seller. They're cutting that out because they want you to buy from where they've invested. It's that simple, guys. It is that simple. So, figure out that game. If eBay has invested in Tiffany glass vases, let's say they've invested in the actual Tiffany glass company, corporate. That's a subsidiary. You have to look at the main companies they invest in and everything under that to determine, and basically all the products you can imagine. So, if they've invested in that company, you're not going to show period. I don't care what you think. You will not show unless the buyer changes the search parameter. If they put that, this is a bad example, but it gives you the idea. If they put that 1932 in the title, that will cut out what eBay wants to show them because the buyer says, I don't want to see that. I want to see something from 1932. So you need to use those keywords on those vintage items while you still have the opportunity. Diversify the standardized vintage items you might have. Let's say you're selling, what's something vintage people buy? Jeans, Levi jeans. Common thing. Yeah, people buy vintage pants all the freaking time. If you're selling vintage Levi jeans, why would the keyword come up with you as opposed to someone who has hundreds of thousands of them? Why would it choose you? Look at the title of the one that has hundreds of thousands. What keywords are they using? They're probably very standardized because they're getting the search result. You need to look at what the one that comes up in search and look at their title and keywords and see what they're using. Then figure out a keyword that is on your product or brand or something. We never put air in, I forgot. Yeah, I know, I forgot. It's not real flat, right?
No.
Okay. Sorry. So you need to show your vintage brand or whatever, the keyword in your product that makes it that a buyer would actually use that keyword to search for it, but that keyword would let it cut out your competition. Now, you do that trickily First, you look at the products and see if there's a keyword that's relevant to the product that would actually work, that would separate you from your competition. That's really hard to find, but you can do it. The other way that you can get an edge on your competition, not quite now, but in the very near future, I'm going to give you some insight to the future. And not just eBay, this is Google and everywhere. Use, instead of your first line of your description, you do your title with the keywords and everything to get them into your store. That's most important. But instead of the first line of your description, what is this idiot doing? Bad driver. Instead of the first line of your description basically be a reaffirmation of keywords in the title, which is what most people do, make it what someone would use to say if they were searching for your item using voice search. That's going to give you an edge in the very near future because meta search, meta string tags, meta keywords, the computer pays attention to those much more, and it will be paying attention to it more and more and more and more and more and more as time goes on. Now, what I mean by that, let's say your daughter has a pink Hello Kitty toothbrush. She breaks it. You run to Walmart and you can't find one that's pink. Guess what? The new movie is the purple theme. The pink ones are all gone. You're like, crap, she's got to have pink. Let me try to buy another brand. No, it's got to be Hello Kitty. Wah! Well, let me go look on eBay. Guess what the buyer does? Hello Kitty toothbrush. Guess what they're going to see? Purple Hello Kitty toothbrushes, because those are the new ones being promoted. They're not going to see the pink ones. And you go, crap, they don't have on eBay. Maybe if I put the word pink in. So they do. Pink Hello Kitty toothbrush. Guess what? None of those purples show. Only the best metrics, or what eBay is promoting, for the people that have the pink one show. So that is your opportunity to actually make a sale. Carry a product that your competition, the manufacturers or eBay itself, has changes or in it every year or every 2 years. Don't buy the new change. You'll never sell those. Go out and buy all the old ones in clearance. What happens when you go to the store to replace something and you see there's a new model? You're like, damn, I like the old one. The new one costs more. I don't like the packaging. Guess what? Same thing works online, but it works in the SEO engine that way. Oh, this buyer does not buy the newest product out ever. They always buy last year's model to save money. The computer knows that. It is a part of their search algorithm. If you focus your business to target those customers, you're going to do very well, because the algorithm and the Google computer, as well as eBay and everywhere else, those numbers eventually detect patterns, and they set a frequency to use those patterns. Anytime someone searches for Hello Kitty toothbrush with the word pink in it, this is the place to go. It indexes everything. You're going to have to learn how to do that, even as vintage sellers. The days of getting something for free, I'm telling you guys, you could get an entire box of fidget spinners for free, put them on eBay, and all you're going to do is lose money on listing fees. You didn't pay a dime for it, you still can't make money, because you're never going to get them found in search. So I'm telling you, it's a new game. Alrighty guys, well I hope you enjoyed listening to me rattle on and on and on a little bit about e-commerce, a little bit about eBay. Now do understand, I'm going to reiterate this again, eBay's not doing anything wrong. How they did it was what I call peasant business. Upstart companies behave that way. Don't want to have a problem, so avoid it. Figure out ways to circumvent the truth. That's what peasants do. I'm sorry. eBay went from a reputable company into just another little crap upstart like everything else. I'm sorry, that's what they did. Now they still have the illusion that they're all community-based. eBay's going open, is going on right now. What does that actually accomplish? Does it make you any sales? You can get the inside dope, and they do share what they are up to in a twisted, convoluted way. So it is useful to go to eBay Open. As a matter of fact, Bolarama's covering that. I've been trying to catch up on all his videos. I wish I was at eBay Open, even though I'm closing. eBay is still a potential. My store has to close. It's been targeted by 700% increase in thieves. Every sale I get, I go look up and they've got negatives out the wazoo. So I can't sell there anymore with my Keywebco brand. I don't want my brand on eBay. I will open a new eBay, and I'll probably just call it Keywebco Global. It will not be drop shipping. I don't do that. But Keywebco Global, or I might even just call it Global. I don't know what I'll call it. I may just call it Buy Crap. I don't matter what I call it, because your store and all that on eBay mean absolutely nothing. It's what you do with it off of eBay that matters. So it really doesn't even matter if I give it a name, because the only way that I will be successful on eBay is to sell lots of this crap that I can't move. Well, I'm not going to do that. I'm not going to move my problem to another e-commerce seller that's not smart enough to realize that they're never going to be able to sell those items on eBay. Probably not Amazon either, because they're not going to come up in the search. So I'm not going to do that. So I won't use eBay to sell lots of products to sell to other sellers. But what I will use it for is to auction off lots for other sellers to buy. Because that could actually go retail, not just e-commerce. So what I mean by that is, if I have the pink Hello Kitty toothbrushes and I no longer want to sell them on eBay, I would just take all of my Hello Kitty toothbrushes. Pink, purple, green, yellow, all of them. Mixed lot. Hello Kitty toothbrushes. Hell Kitty toothbrushes. 400, all different styles and types from different movies. Buy the lot, starting bid $100, whatever it is. I'll use eBay for that, because that might actually work, and it won't cost me that much money, because I'll just do the freebie thing. No store, no nothing. So yes, there is a use for me for eBay, but to build a business, you need a website, guys. You need your own business. Even if you're selling on Amazon and eBay and all these other platforms, check out Trugether. If you're on eBay, I can get you where you're going to double your sales in no time flat just by using another platform if you do the work. If you're on eBay, link your eBay to Trugether. It's going to cost you $10 a month. This is why it will cost you $10 a month. Because not only are you going to link Trugether to eBay, which is free, it'll do all your inventory, adjust when it sells. Lovely situation. You set your percentage. Like if it's priced $10 on eBay, you're going to pay eBay 10%. That makes it worth $9. So on Trugether, give them 5%. So you make $9.50. So give that, because that's what determines how much they push to Google. But pay $10 a month and attach Google Shopping. You will all of a sudden, poof, have your own Google Shopping account that they'll be pushing to. You can also use Trugether to control inventory and products and listings, sort of, between eBay, Amazon, and several other platforms. And they don't charge for that. That's what you need to do. The first attempt you should try at diversification of inventory would be using eBay and Trugether together. Send a few of those eBay items maybe to Amazon, or Amazon items to eBay. Play with that, see how it works. Have everything in Google Shopping. On Trugether, you can make listings as well, and it doesn't cost any money. So you can make your listings on Trugether. Shoot, that's what I really should do, is just make a Trugether store with all my eBay stuff, but I don't want to mess with it anymore. My product line is dead for e-commerce. At least the way I want to do it. So check out Trugether. It's pretty awesome. I know the guy that owns it. Every once in a while you have a little bit of issues with the buyers on Trugether, just like eBay. Like I have this one buyer that's written 50 billion times about something they ordered 3 days ago. Literally 3 days ago. They just write every day. Well, I see the tracking number. It says, because Trugether I don't have my eBay stuff on Trugether. I have my Keywebco Global, which is dropshipping. So the buyer orders it 3 days ago. I process and get the order is actually shipped by the dropshipper already in 3 days, which is within Trugether's policy. It's already in the mail on the way to them. They write back 30 billion questions about how it's being shipped. I said, here's the tracking number, here's the company doing it. What they're going to do is say they don't get it. So you're going to still get scams no matter where you are. But I don't have to really deal with that. In my business, I just contact PayPal, or just don't even mess with it. I just contact PayPal and it's like, does the tracking show us delivered? Yep. Okay, well, that's it. No feedback, no drama, no refund to the buyer either. If it's marked delivered, you got it. Boom. If you say it's marked delivered and it's not here, well, then you'll need to go report that to the post office because that's felony. Postal theft is felony. But it was delivered there. That's the address you gave us. No refund. So, yes, you do still have thefts. You will have chargebacks when you have your own businesses. But they're much easier to deal with. You don't have to jump through hoops for somebody else. Alrighty, guys, I'm going to have to let you go. I'm going to have to talk to my employee a little bit before we get up here. I don't know how long this will take. I did see a text message come in. The doctor's scrubbed and ready for me. I don't have to do anything. All I do is just run in there, put my little gown on, jump on the operating table, and they're going to start. They're all scrubbed up waiting on me. It's like I said, it's not a big deal what they're doing. It's just it has to be done just right or I'll have future issues. Alrighty, guys, well, I hope you enjoyed, and I hope you understand. I'm not saying that eBay's bad. I'm saying eBay's new and different. You have to play a different game, and most of us are not going to want to invest tens of thousands of dollars with the off chance that someone will actually see our products. It takes a lot of advertising to get a buyer to put your brand name in. Now, that's the trick. It's driving me nuts. That's the trick. It's probably going to glare. It's driving me crazy. If you can get your brand name on a product and you can get the buyer to type your brand name in, nobody else shows. But that is an expensive venture. That means you would have to get your buyers to identify. Let's say you're selling backpacks. Let's make it difficult. Let's say you're selling Velcro. Velcro's a name brand. You can't even call it that. Okay. Let's say you're selling, what do they call it? Hook and latch, fabric, or zipper or something. I don't know. They got some crap name for it. Everyone calls it Velcro. Why do you think Velcro is so picky about people using that? Because if I was in competition with Velcro, I would be able to go to China and have it manufactured same quality or better and double the units for half the price. And I could call it Velcrine. Velcro 2. And guess what? As soon as the public started realizing, oh, Velcro 2, you get 2 Velcros for the price of one. Guess what? Velcro won't make any sales. Did I spend millions of dollars? Did I get people to search for my brand? No. I stole someone else's brand and put a little change to it. And that's how I make my money. That's why Vero exists. Brands are very important in the new business. The reason they're so important is if you can get a buyer to search by brand name, nobody else comes up. That is the trick, and that is a $100,000 minimum investment to even begin to accomplish. That includes about $60,000 worth of advertising and $40,000 worth of products. You have to have everything. You can't just get one product unless it is a single product. I'm talking generally. You can't just get one product, brand it, and be successful. You have to give them a brand with multiple choices, or they're only going to come up and search in a very tiny window. You have to have the big window of search and a big bonus for using it. That's an expensive venture, but if you want to make millions of dollars, that's how you do it. Now, if eBay hadn't screwed me over with the information they were releasing, they had just been honest from the get-go. I figured it out, but I figured it out early for everyone else, but I still figured it out too late. If I had still the same volume, and they said, well, we're not going to change anything at all, but in 1 year, this is the new system. Literally, that's what I wanted done. That's the way it should have been done. We're not going to change anything on eBay. We're not going to micromanage. We're not going to do any changes at all. But as of this date, all of these things must be done or the listings are gone. This is the new eBay. If they had done it that way, I would have had those 150 sales a day still coming in. I would have bought my own brand and spent the $60,000 on advertising, and I would be making a lot of money now because that would be the only business I would be able to run on eBay. But that's not the way it worked. Alrighty, guys, we're going to lose signal any minute. I already see it going down. We're near the VA. I have to go. We're going to go by my friends and borrow $2 because I'm $2 short on my medical bill. And I will talk to everyone sometime today. I have no clue when I'll be out of the hospital. It won't be long, actually. Longer than a normal day, but it won't actually be that long. I do have to come back, but it'll be in the middle of the night tonight. So I'm not really sure when I'll be back on video. I do want you guys to go read my article about my store closing after 10 years. It's not negative. I tried my darndest to not sound like a nagging Nancy. That's what people are sick of hearing people complain about stuff, but not explain why.